And Salem Hospital telling us there have been no confirmed infections so far. Now, the hospital is providing free screenings for those patients that were notified to make sure that they indeed do not have hepatitis B, hepatitis C, or HIV. Salem Hospital taking corrective action after flawed procedures. The hospital saying it has notified nearly 450 endoscopy patients that they may have been exposed to serious infections, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and HIV. According to the hospital, the possible exposure happened over a 2-year period when patients were given medications through an IV in a, quote, manner not consistent with the hospital's best practice. The patients alerted underwent visual imaging, for example, a colonoscopy or gastrointestinal ultrasound. Salem Hospital telling us in a written statement, we have determined that the infection risk to patients from this event is extremely small, adding all patients potentially exposed have been notified, and that there is no evidence to date of any infections resulting from this incident. Salem Hospital also telling us that if you underwent an endoscopy procedure here and were not notified, then you are not among those potentially infected. We're live in Salem tonight. Jennifer Piñat, the WCVB News Center 5.
Jennifer, thank you.
An alarming report about a superbug fungus here in Nevada. Federal health officials have identified southern Nevada as the region with the highest number of cases of potentially lethal fungus called Candida auris. The superbug is resistant to common antibiotics and can be a major risk for hospital and nursing home patients. The CDC tracked and found in 2022, Nevada had 16% of the country's cases of the superbug, followed by California and Florida. Since August of 2021, more than 1,000 people in southern Nevada have been infected with the fungus and 100 people have died. It spreads easily and can infect wounds, ears, and the bloodstream. Some strains are so-called superbugs that are resistant to all 3 classes of antibiotic drugs used to treat fungal infections.
And for more, let's bring in Doctors Terrence Ferguson and Bernard Hodges, veterinarians and co-stars on National Geographic's Critter Fixers. Doctors, thank you both for being on. I know a lot of pet owners are really concerned right now. So, Dr. Ferguson, let's start with you. What do we know about this illness, and how concerned do you think dog owners need to be right now?
Well, definitely right now it's a mystery. You know, going through this season, we often have a lot of respiratory disease that we have in dogs, but, you know, having one that we're not quite sure about kind of, you know, changes things. We have to try to figure out how do we treat these things, how severe they are, or, you know, how they're spreading.
Dr. Hodges, this illness can be deadly if left untreated. So what symptoms specifically do dog owners need to keep an eye out for, and what do you do if you start noticing them?
So we definitely want to kind of look out for any kind of, you know, excessive coughing, eye discharge, any, you know, if we start to have a fever, difficulty breathing, any nasal discharge or lethargy. And if you start seeing these things, definitely get your animal to a veterinarian, because, you know, this is a mystery disease and it could, you know, become fatal.
Dr. Ferguson, what do we know about how this disease is spreading? Should dog owners be avoiding kennels and dog parks right now?
Well, you know, at this point, we're not quite sure because it's still one of those mystery diseases. But if we look back on other illnesses that we have, like some of the influenza viruses that we have, we definitely know they're spread by, you know, direct contact or sneezing. So if it's in an area where you're having an outbreak, I would definitely say probably avoid those. Having your dog in a kennel or going to the groomer, those are some of the things you may want to not do right now until we kind of figure this out and get a little bit better control on it.
It's happening again. China's hospitals are filling up with patients. Almost all of them are children. Their symptoms are strikingly similar to the Wuhan virus: high fever and lung infection. There are many clusters of patients. Doctors say they have pneumonia, but they don't know what's causing the infection. Is this a new variant of the Wuhan virus? Is it a bacterium or a new disease altogether? As always, China is not being transparent. So parents in China are worried. In one instance, they were heard asking authorities if they're covering up another outbreak. So not just the rest of the world, even the people of China do not trust their government. Children are doing their classes from hospitals. Take a look at this. We can only hope that this is not one more pandemic in the making.
For the first time, several vampire viruses have been found in soil samples from Missouri and Maryland. Researchers have known for decades that the oddly named viruses exist, but this is the first time that any signs of the viruses have been found in the United States. In order to multiply, vampire viruses feed on other viruses. These specific viruses arise when a bacteriophage clings to the neck of a soil-based virus and utilizes that virus's life to endure independently. This kind of vampire virus can cause the host virus to become dormant. They claim that although the vampire species is capable of eliminating viruses that harm animals and crops, it is also capable of eliminating good viruses that are vital to the soil's fertility and health.